COVID is not over yet. We have seen a lot of variants popping up, and of course cyber goes along with the COVID path today. When we see that COVID is disappearing from the attention span of many people, we also see at the same time cyber disappearing from the attention radar from the executives. And I think that's definitely the wrong message. We have created a path to home working, remote working, call it whatever you want. It will stay probably here and in the future. And for that reason, we have to stay vigilant in the office, at home, and when we are traveling. Since COVID, a lot has changed. We have changed the way we work, but we also think more about data sovereignty today. We've seen in the past Cybersecurity Day that solutions are popping up in that sense, but we also see member states of Europe fighting for the data sovereignty war. It is important that we know where our data is, who has access to it, when, from where, and who can manage that data after all. When we put data in the cloud, we need to remain vigilant, and of course we need to remain the owner of the data at all costs. Therefore, data sovereignty is definitely a topic that will emerge now and will continue to emerge in the future. At the same time, we also see an increased demand on identity and access management. It has been immense complex to manage identities throughout an organization, giving access to different applications, resources, assets, whatever. We need to find a unified approach in that, and we see a lot of solutions popping up around identity and access management, but also, of course, how to avoid a password in the future. That's definitely something for the next years to come. Security through obscurity is definitely not the way forward. In order to build trust towards your customers, your staff, your third-party suppliers, even your peers, you need to have transparency. Transparency is a key in building trust because people like to understand why you do things. We don't have to necessarily explain in full detail how we do it and what we do, but at least the how. That will create the trust angle we need now and in the future. Privacy is an important aspect of our daily lives. Whether we are at work or at home, we share an immense volume of data. Whether we send an email, we receive emails, we receive files, we send photos. Imagine all the things you do and that you share readily on the internet. We therefore see a merging of data protection, privacy and cybersecurity, because data protection is definitely the glue between the two bricks. The dependence is immense on both sides. When we speak about cybersecurity, the data protection is there to ensure, for example, confidentiality or integrity of the data. And when we speak in privacy terms, we like to ensure that we know which data we have. You can look at it as from an integrity perspective, but we also like to know what data we have, on whom do we have data, in case that somebody asks the right to be forgotten, for example. So data protection is definitely the glue between those two bricks, privacy and cybersecurity. Many people ask how it is to be an ethical hacker and what's the difference between a black hat hacker or a non-ethical hacker. In fact, there's no difference in competencies or skills. The only difference is in the motive when you use those skills, of course. Doing it in your private life, of course, can be very challenging if you like technology, but it's not something that I would recommend because you will waste a lot of your free time. We saw through COVID that a lot of incidents happened. Many organizations suffered from different types of attacks. If there is one thing I can recommend you is stay relevant during an organization. Stay relevant for your customers and your peers and your suppliers, but more importantly, stay relevant for your staff during that incident.